Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Failure Effect. This week we're talking to someone that we all know very well. His name is Khalif Kairo and he is the owner of Kai and Kairo Shipping Company. Now you know him by a business that he previously managed called Imports by Kairo, and he no longer works there, but we're going to get into the reasons for why that happened in due course. In the meantime, we'll start right at the beginning. Hello Khalif, how are you doing?
How are you doing? I'm quite fine.
Okay.
I'm enjoying myself, and thanks for having me on set.
Well, thank you for coming because you have a very interesting story. You started out pretty young in business, didn't you?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to start at a very early age, and I thank God for that. Yeah.
All right, so where did you start? Tell us a little bit about, where you grew up, how old you were when you first started selling items and, learning how business works and who you worked for.
So I started, I grew up in Kawangware for a start, a place called Amboseli. Those who are familiar with Gitanga Road, there's a stage called Amboseli, just before you get to Rusinga schools. So I grew up in that neighborhood. I was born in 1996, 5th November to be very precise. Pumwani Maternity Hospital.
Right. Okay.
To my beautiful mom, her name is Lucy Wamboi. And growing up, my mom used to be a shopkeeper. She ran a small shop in Kawangware, so it sold, the usual stuff, sodas, dawa.
Right. Big G.
Big G. I actually used to steal a lot of those.
Oh.
And Mr. Berry.
Okay.
So I grew up in my mom's shop, and I'd confidently say she's the one who introduced me to business, because when I started growing up, like when I was in class 4, she'd now leave me with the shop. I'd man the shop, sell a few items here and there in the shop.
Class 4 makes you, what, 10 years old?
Class 4, 2006, that is. I was how old? Yeah, I was actually 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years old, yeah.
All right, that's really impressive. So that's
Yes.
where you learned the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, basically the basics. The
Okay.
basics of business. Then I also loved reading. Remember reading newspapers. My mom used to buy me the Sunday Nation. So I used to enjoy reading a lot. Books, story books. I never liked studying, but I enjoyed reading. There's a difference.
Essential. That's an essential point.
Yeah, so I read a lot. And then growing up, of course, I was in this business setup. The business wasn't doing very well. And at times I'd try to tell mom, you need to change, you need to paint this shop. It doesn't look appealing. You're getting competition from the supermarkets. So I think looking back now, I realize, wait, I was always actually a business person. Yeah, because I was able to see things from an angle my mom didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start applying this information for yourself? Like after high school?
Yes, so after, of course, high school, I went to a boarding school. I studied in 2 schools. For one, I was in Dagoretti High School. My mom was like, I don't like this school, so she switched me to a school called Kahohoro, which is in Kikuyu. So I did my Form 4 in Kahohoro, and I used to do very good in business, by the way. Most of the times I was top in my class in business. But I don't know what happened with KCSE, year 2014. Surprise, we got a very heavy surprise, and I failed. I'd say I failed because I think I scored a C.
Oh.
Which, according to the way I'd rated myself, that probably gotten a B or a B+. But anyway, at that particular point, when I finished my high school, before I even got the results, I started developing an interest for cars. I've always had the interest from way back, but when I started looking at it from a perspective of, I could actually do this for a living. And that was from influence of some of my friends who I knew. We used to live in the same neighborhood, but they used to sell cars. So I'd see these guys switching cars. Today he comes home in a Mac X, tomorrow he's driving a Benz, and I was like, wow. I don't
You want to be like
yeah,
that?
because come to think about it, I like cars, I know about cars.
Yes.
These guys seem like they're making money. So this is something I will do.
Yeah.
So around December of 2014, did my driving, passed my driving exam, and I told my mom, look, I'm going to look for a job. And she thought I was insane.
Right.
Yeah,
This
she
is
was like-
immediately after
Yeah,
high
immediately
school.
after high school. I don't even gotten the results because back then,
Yeah.
you do your KCSE, finish in November, because I finished November 5th of 2014. That's when I did my last paper. 5th or 6th, one of those 2 days. I can't really quite get the exact one, but it must be one of those 2 days. And immediately, when I was at home during the long holiday period, because before Matiang'i, we'd get results probably in February. So I had like a whole 4 months of just sitting at home watching TV, going for computer and driving. That's what most guys normally used to do. So remember, my mom wasn't doing very well financially at that point. So she's really stressed. She's wondering, look, now this boy is at home. the shop isn't performing well. Things were just very, very tight. So I told my mom, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start selling cars. So my mom is like, selling cars. You see, from her perspective, yeah, hata imetoka wapi. I thought you wanted to become a pilot or a lawyer.
Right.
But I'm like, no, for now, based on the situation we are in, we need something that makes us money. So that's how I end up in 2015 January, Tamakin. I went 5 showrooms in Kilimani and Ngong Road asking for a job. So I'm this skinny 18-year-old. I go, hi, I want a job. And sell cars. And I'd pray.
Yeah.
I remember I'd pray at that point. Like, I'd pray and just tell God, look, just open this door. I just need to enter into this industry. Just give me a footing in this industry. So somehow I went to like 4 places. All of them didn't take me seriously. But one guy did. There's a guy called Sam. He's called Sam Duarte. He used to own a showroom called Ocean Cross.
Yes.
Valley Arcade. That guy gave me a job. He saw me. He was like, "Are you sure you can sell cars?" I was like, "Yes, I can." "You're very, very sure?" "I'll give you a month." And trust me, he was so impressed after 1 month that they actually hired me.
Oh, wow.
So at 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here you are, you're in a showroom,
Yeah.
umeomoka, now you can drive. Did you ever drive the cars home?
No, and actually, no, okay, well, when I was, first month, I actually scratched a car.
Oh.
I swear, the first month, I scratched a car. So these guys were like, that's a kijana. Now, I used to have 3 bosses. There was a guy called Gitao Ngure. There was a guy called Mwangi, Stanley, and then there was Sam Duarte. So there were 3 partners.
Yeah.
So these guys at first were like, no, you're not going to touch any cars. But still, I'm forever grateful to these guys because they'd still let me drive anyway, somehow.
Yeah.
So they'd start risking. So the first time I scratched the car, I was like, don't touch any car. And then the next week they're like, unaweza enda Adams. Then they give me like a Toyota DX, they're like, go with it. And then I'm scared. Like I'm so scared.
Okay, so you're what? You're 19, 20 at this point in time?
Yeah, I'm actually
18 still, and you've got money that you're making from selling off, from your car commissions.
Yeah.
And you've got different models of cars. Now, all of this in an 18-year-old's hands. What happened next?
Of course, it's going to mess you up. But I think one thing I normally say is that I did make a lot of mistakes at that point. Because looking back now, from this perspective, some of the sins I'm paying for today, some of the struggles I have right now, are some of the sins I did when I was 18.
Okay.
Nowadays, when I now sit back and look at it now from a godly perspective, and I realize most of the messes, because nobody has a perfect life. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much of a powerful person you are. People make mistakes, and some of these mistakes have long-term consequences.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I think at that age, I wasn't really grounded well. I knew God, I'd pray, I'd do my tithe, but I wasn't really grounded well in God. Okay. So I think at that particular point, I did so many. Of course, you'll do the partying. Of course, there are the girls.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll waste money. You buy silly things. You don't have that much of purpose. You don't know what you want. You're still experimenting. Still trying business ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there are things like my biggest regret is that if I knew what Instagram or Facebook would become, I'd have started working on my brand from 2014.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I started paying heavy attention to my brand in 2018.
Okay.
So I'd say those are 3 years. 2017 actually. Those are like 2 years I didn't put the right foundation. Yeah.
So what was the consequence of that? Because I feel like 2017 was a watershed year for you. You changed a lot of things.
Yes. From 2018, 2019, 2020, I wasn't putting away any savings. Where was this money going to? I was directing it towards adverts. I saw if I showed you my budget plans, because I still keep them to this day.
Yeah.
You'd see that a lot of my money was going towards adverts. I'd make 100 in a month, use 40K or 30K on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody thought I was insane.
Yeah.
But now looking back, it paid off. Yeah.
Okay. So you had your time in 2017. You also had a child.
Yes. Yeah. My son comes along in 8th April of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
of course, I'm very young.
Yes.
Inexperienced. I don't know how things are going to turn up. I remember calling my mom, like my son has been born, and and I laugh. And that's why my mom gets mad at me because she thinks it's a very bad joke.
Oh, no. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but finally, I think she calls my sister and she comes to the hospital. She sees my son. She's very concerned.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm still not mature. So, and then I was like, what's your intention with this girl? I'm like, no, we still don't know each other very well. So it was a very tough time. And then something interesting. When I'm getting this boy, at that particular point, I've just quit my job 2 months ago from Ocean Cross.
So here you are, you're a new father, and you've quit your job with no
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
where you're going next. What happens next?
Difficult, yeah.
Okay.
Very, very difficult, yeah. Very, like, extremely difficult, yeah. Because now, there's a kid who expects you to be the dad. You don't have the money.
Yeah.
There's a girl in the picture who expects you to man up and provide for her. Your money is not, it's not really adding sense. Of course, she's getting pressure from her people. So it was a very, very, very difficult year. But still, God still comes through, because here's the interesting bit. Much as it's a very difficult year, towards the tail end of 2017, slowly, the election comes.
Okay.
I forgot about the election.
Yes.
August.
Yeah.
And then we are told, like, I think there was a dispute with that election, because
Yes.
I think we did 2 elections.
We did it twice.
And Baba didn't come for the next.
Yes.
So there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yes.
So very, very difficult, yeah. That's all I remember about 2017.
Okay.
But still, looking back again, there was still an element of progress.
Yes.
So then now that one I credit it to God, that despite we're having so many challenges, we're seeing so many issues, there's a baby who's come. That kid still grew. Somehow my business, because now I'm freelancing actually.
Okay.
I'm not even grounded in a certain showroom.
Yeah.
In fact, when this kid is born, there's a friend of mine called Newton. He used to run a showroom in Hurlingham. He's the guy who gives me like 30K to go pay, like to go give my baby mama, like, here's the money for the hospital. Yeah.
Wow.
I've never even said this. He probably doesn't know it, but that 30K he gave me, probably even forgot about it. He'll be like,
Yeah.
atarudisha tu. But you see, at that point, you don't have anything. Yeah.
Okay.
So on the side, we're not very cool with my baby mama. You know, we have our own issues.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to date someone else, because I'm trying to get some sort of stability in my life. But again, it's not working out.
Yeah.
So your life, you look at your life and you don't realize it yet, but God wants you to move in a certain direction.
Yes.
But there are so many things limiting you. Well, that's one thing I've come to discover with life. At times you might be on the right trajectory, sawa. Maybe you're working hard, you're waking up, but there are things that are limiting you.
Yeah.
And at times I feel like the breakthrough in life comes when you realize what's limiting you and you get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was limiting you?
So I think at that particular point, this relationship I was in,
Okay.
it was actually limiting me.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say the person was bad. At times the circumstances are bad.
Yeah.
Second thing, you might be keeping the wrong company.
Right.
Very critical.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the relationship. Who are your friends?
Yeah.
What sort of influence do they have on you? You know, they say if you stay with 3 millionaires and you're the broke guy, chances are you'll be the 4th millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're hanging out with three druggies,
Yeah.
you're the guy with a stable job, chances are you're the one
You'll
getting
end up a druggie.
you're becoming the 4th druggie.
Yeah.
So kind of like the same thing. So you have to like to know who do I cut off or who do I stay with. So very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you moved into 2018 with a renewed focus. You got out of a relationship.
I moved. I used to live in Jamhuri. So we actually, somewhere along the way, I left Kangore, went to Jamhuri Estate, and I decided, you know what, now let me start afresh. So I go to the Indigwa. So when I went there, I used to work in Kiambu Road now. I actually cut off most of my networks from Kilimani. So I just said, you know what, let me just go start afresh. I meet a very nice guy. He's called Jesse. Very good guy. He owns a showroom called Urban Dream. Still on Kiambu Road.
Right.
Jesse takes me in. He tells me, look, I'm starting out on this partnership with a company called Beford in Japan. So what I'm going to do, you can help me with the clients. I'll pay you, we'll just agree commission based. You're not really my employee per se, but we can work together. I have cars, you need to make you money. I'm running this gig with Beford, which has the potential to be something good. So I'll also train you how to do imports. So this guy teaches me everything from how you source cars, who not to buy from, how not to buy. This is how you do it. This is how you do the quotes. So Jesse, he's a good operative with the cars and everything. Still does the same business today.
Yeah.
Still doing very well. So, but now from my aspect is now I bring the social media aspect. So now I'm doing these quotes and then posting them online. And that's how Imports by Kairo is actually born.
Right.
In 2018. If you look at the Imports by Kairo page, if you go, you'll find that the original name of that page was Khalif Kairo actually.
Right.
And then I changed it to Kairo and J. And then I was like, and then that J was my friend, but now I moved to Kiamburu and I'm doing other things, J's doing other things. So I now changed it to, I wanted to call it Kairo's Custom Imports.
Right.
In fact, the username is Kairo's Custom Imports. But Facebook tells me you can't choose this name. But Facebook suggests,
Yes.
tells me, why don't you try Imports by Kairo?
Okay.
And I'm like, not bad.
Uh-huh.
And that's how the page is born. Now
Right.
the Imports by Kairo page, yeah. So 2018, things are good, generally. Things are actually very, very, very good.
Okay.
2018 things are good. 2019 vitu zinaenda tu zikikuwa fiti. Until now, around, my mom actually lives for the US, somewhere in 2017, but she goes there and gets sick.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm
she
so
goes there
sorry.
and gets sick. So 2018, 2019, kuna issues huko.
Yeah.
So now again I start getting other challenges.
Yeah.
But you see, we're still doing the business with Jesse.
Yeah.
He's trained me. I'm working under his company. Things are looking up. Then COVID comes.
Oh. Yes.
You remember now the tail end of 2019
Yes.
is when we start seeing reports of a
Yes.
weird disease
Yes.
that's coming from China.
Yeah.
So we've been working with Jesse for like now we almost clocking now 1 year and a couple of months. So as I told you earlier, I don't like staying in the same place
Yes.
for too long.
Yeah.
So now a friend of mine called Anthony tells me, bro, now you've gotten to a point where now you're selling cars. Imports by Kairo page inajulikana. People trust you.
Yeah.
You do your videos, you post your cars. Why don't you then just set up a company? Kwa nini usifungue tu kampuni?
Yeah.
Sasa si uko poa. You've worked with Jesse well. Now after nini yako. And by the way, something else you don't forget. All this time around, I still pray.
Yeah.
I still rely on God to give me guidance. And I have a way of feeling. Every time God wants me to move,
Yeah.
I've come to discover that what God does, He brings conflict. He just brings difficulties.
Okay.
You may not actually realize it. Unashanga, okay, see this model has been working.
Yeah.
Then why should I? But God is like, no. Now a time has come.
time to
Now is
move
enough
on.
for you to step.
So, I am so familiar with that.
You
but
know, eh?
yes.
Yeah. There's always
Yes.
like a bit of a conflict that comes up. Eh? So now, cause I know Gentleman X, so I'm like, now this new company, who am I going to start it with? Like, okay, this Gentleman X, and there's another guy we're going to call Gentleman Y.
Okay.
Who at that particular point is based in China. It's 2019. He does containers, consolidation, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So these two guys, compared to me at that particular point, they are loaded. But who has the brand? Who has the systems?
You.
Who understands how showrooms operate?
Yeah.
I do. So from my perspective, we make a very good team. Because Gentleman X, since he's based in Kenya, he's good. Like he's very good with the money networks. You know, you're looking at this guy because probably he has a better credit score than me, and he's had experience in running businesses before companies. He might be the right type of person to actually band up with. Gentleman Y, because he's based in the Orient and he knows all these networks in China and whatnot, and you know, Malaysia, Singapore, which are the primary markets where we look at when we're sourcing these cars. And then there's me. There's the guy who understands what cars sell,
Yeah.
how to talk to clients, the PR aspect,
Yes.
you know, the marketing aspect, the digital. So I'm like, this is $1 million combination.
Yeah.
But Gentleman X and Gentleman Y don't know each other.
Yeah.
I'm the guy with the key.
Yeah.
The guy who knows both of them,
Yes.
who knows their abilities, and I'm the guy who brings them to the table.
Right.
One beautiful afternoon, January of 2020, at a Java in along Kimathi Street.
Okay.
If my ex or baby mama, who at this point now we're actually dating,
Yeah.
but we have our own relationship.
Yeah.
Like we have issues,
Yeah.
tons of issues, but we're dating, and the boy is actually growing.
Right.
Somehow there's a semblance of stability. I'm actually spending a lot of time with him. So I'd say when it comes to the parental aspect, now things have eased up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing well financially. I'm not like 100% okay. Okay, nobody's ever 100% okay, but I'm not struggling.
Yeah.
But sijafika that threshold where I want to
Yeah.
get to. So that meeting, I remember I tagged my baby mama along. She comes to that meeting. She's seated
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And when Imports by Kairo is born, now the company.
Yeah.
Forget about the page.
Yeah.
Because you see now, we sit the three of us. We discuss everything. I introduce the two gentlemen. I lay out what I think works.
Yeah.
And at the end of the meeting, we agree, so we can do the company. What are we going to call it? Gentleman Y from the Orient actually says, since Kairo has a known name and is well known within circles all over biashara nini nini, why don't we trade under that name? When I did that and when we agreed that the company was going to be called that name, now it became, we are 3 equal shareholders. So essentially what I've done, I've sold my name.
Yes. So what was the impact of that? Like
at that point, I don't realize it. It doesn't occur to me. It only starts to occur to me of the big mistake I've done a few months down the line. I'm going to get to that. So now the office starts, they start setting up the office. Yeah. The first Imports Bakery office costed less than 1.5 million. Actually less than 1.2 million. It was at Diamond Plaza, ground floor, shop number G4. If I'm not wrong. Diamond Plaza 2. We got it at a very good rate. Rent was around 50k a month or 53k a month. Okay. I remember when we started doing the business, things weren't actually that bad, because it was during the height of COVID. Yeah. We started operating in March of 2020. That's when, like, if you look at the incorporation documents, top of my head, around February, March. I'm very good with dates, so I know it's a date between February or March. Somewhere, kituka hiyo. So when we started, in fact, the initial place we wanted to set up shop was actually Roslyn Riviera, but we didn't get the confirmation from the management. Yeah. It took a bit of time to give us confirmation. So I was like, let me just go to Diamond Plaza. And surprisingly, the DP guys were so welcoming. I was actually shocked. Yeah. And it was actually my idea to go to DP. Okay. So we go there, we get the shop, and operations start. Something else you need to understand, Gentleman X is 35 or 34. Right. Gentleman Y is also 34 or 35. Yeah. These guys are older than me, with a big margin. Yes. Those are, at that particular point, I'm 24. Yeah. So they don't understand me. Yes, and there's a lack of acknowledgement, I suppose, of your voice in the business. Precisely. Yeah. So as the business continues to progress onwards, I start becoming more sidelined. Right. But take note, who's fighting all the battles on social media? You are. I'm the one fighting all the battles on social. Who's doing all the posting? Who's doing, who's creating the marketing strategy for the company? Yeah. I'm the one doing that. All these guys have to do is just bring in the cars and ensure there's money to run the company, which might sound like a big deal, but I've come to realize as long as you have a good reputation, you will never lack people who are willing to finance your operations. Yeah. Or as long as you leave alone people, as long as you have God on your side, your things will always move. I've discovered that with Kai and Karo. But anyway, so along the way, there's a disconnect. There's basically a disconnect. And I'm voiceless in my own company. Oh, wow. I'm unable to make decisions. I'm undermined in my own company. These Gentleman X and Gentleman Y get to a point where they open a secret company to supply Imports Bakery. Yes, they open a secret company to supply Imports Bakery. My goodness. It was called Amazing Auto. I didn't know about it. So one day I'm seated in the office and I'm talking to the admin. I see an agreement saying that the owner of this car, because an agreement is normally typically done, you have to say who's on the logbook. Yes. I see Amazing Auto. I'm like, who's Amazing Auto? I'm like, okay. Kidogo, I see another Amazing Auto. Tena Amazing Auto ingine. Yeah. I'm like, what are these two guys doing? Now I start becoming quite curious. So I do my investigation. I discover these two guys have actually set up a company. Right. I decide I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. Because now it's going to a point where I don't even have the authority in that company. Because anyway, it's a joint venture. Yeah. But to cut the long story short, Gentleman X and Gentleman Y. So walifungua Amazing Auto yao. Yeah. They have a bad fallout. Oh. A bad fallout. Oh no. A bad one. Okay. But now, so Gentleman X comes to rant at me about arrangements I didn't know about. Yes. So maybe at the back of I'm just laughing because I'm like, okay, you never told me about this thing. You never consulted me. You're not complaining that sijui mlitisha magari, akakuja zikakuja. He doesn't want to pay duty. Yeah. But you see, I was never party of that arrangement. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just a bystander. I'm watching now these two people who I actually introduced. Yeah. Brought together, ikafika mahali, they thought this stupid kid doesn't know what he's doing. Let us show him how businesses are run. And now they have their own fights. Yeah. To cut the long story short, fast forward to 2021 December. Gentleman Y goes to court. Okay. And blocks the accounts of Imports Bakery
Oh wow! And you're just like the elephant, the grass caught in the
Listen,
middle of
I'm
this
like
fight.
the grass caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Because at that point, this gentleman is blocking their accounts.
Yeah.
There's around 12 million of clients' money in their account.
Oh, due for cars
12
that should be
million.
brought
Th-
in.
This
Yeah.
is these are clients who paid for cars.
Yeah.
This there's a car in Mombasa. There are cars that there's KRA money there because there's money that's supposed to be. Kuna entries zimekuwa generated that need to be paid. Some
Yeah.
entries need to be paid.
Yeah.
So there's like KRA money there. Where?
I'm so sorry.
Now at this particular point, I'm a guy who prays again.
Yeah.
Yes, so I tell God now. Hey God. Now sasa hapa huku ni wapi sasa tumefika?
Yeah.
And I prayed to that God. I remember I prayed. And I remember I used to know this client who was a very good lawyer.
Yeah.
I called the guy and he's like, okay, your accounts have been blocked. No problem. I'll try and do the application for you. You're my friend. Don't even pay me anything. You're my very good friend. You come with Gentleman X.
Yeah.
So I'm telling Gentleman X, I know we have a company lawyer, but I don't think he's going to assist us, which is true. You know, even within the legal circles, you need to, they're good lawyers, they're bad lawyers, they're average lawyers, and they're good lawyers.
Yeah.
There are some problems that require a good lawyer
Yeah.
and someone you can actually ultimately trust.
Yeah.
Now, this is not even a matter of just having a lawyer. Do you trust this guy?
Yes.
So I convinced Gentleman the X, we go to my lawyer, now to my friend, who's now the lawyer. And we go there and the guy is not even like he shows me that I don't even respect the choosers. I don't like your lawyer, you know.
Oh.
And we have a very bad fallout.
Okay.
Around that point. But my lawyer tells me, look, your partner kind of seems, there's an element of madharau, he sees it. But he tells me, I'm not going to help you in this case because you can afford me or because you have so much money. I'm going to help you do this application because where were you, like, because you're my friend, and I'll work with the other lawyer. Now the other lawyer who you catered, the one who used to work on behalf of your company. I'm just going to assist you with this application.
Yeah.
And he does it. They go to court. They argue orally, and the nini is lifted.
Okay.
So at that point, that was December 2021. Imports by Cairo would have collapsed that December.
Okay.
I stopped it.
Okay.
Not me. Me through my God.
Yes.
That was basically, it's one of those things I look back at and I say, that was a pure miracle.
Yeah.
So now last year, Gentleman Y, see, he has failed. You want to teach Gentleman X a lesson.
Yeah.
Sasa ni kama kidogo it has failed.
Yeah.
So I don't know, they met, they ironed out their things. There's also a meeting I actually went to, and he agreed to leave the company. So now, we are left with Gentleman
Gentleman X.
We're now left with Gentleman X.
Uh-huh.
What he does is, the shares for Gentleman Y, he takes them.
Okay.
Yes.
So now he's like the sole owner, literally.
No. We were three equal shareholders. 30,
Yes.
30, 30.
Okay.
And then there was like some shares that were not allocated. Kitu kayo, but remember we were three equal shares.
Yeah.
We had three equal shareholding. So he takes the shares of Gentleman
Yeah.
Y.
Yeah.
So I start seeing now an element of contempt. Let me just call it contempt.
Yeah.
Where now this guy feels like I stopped becoming a director and I'm not started getting treated like an employee. It gets to a point, I notice the mother even from the staff.
Oh.
So he's showing the staff he's the center of all the authority.
Yeah.
Which is now a problem. And I'm definitely going to feel bad about it. But one thing about me, I'm very diplomatic and I'm very tact. You need to choose your battles. You know, you can't go fighting everybody.
Yeah.
There are battles you look at, you see, this one, I first need to chill.
Yeah.
It continues to escalate until one particular time around July. KBC guys contact me. There's a girl called Brenda from KBC. Tells me we want to do an interview about imports. The same thing we're doing right now about imports by Cairo. And we'll come to the office. And we'll do the interview from there.
Yeah.
That chick is the witness in this case.
Oh.
So the chick, I'm saying in case this story, someone like, she can corroborate whatever I'm saying because we have an agreement. She even DMs the page and, you know, now the staff call me, they're like, okay, the one who normally does this PR thing, so you'll talk to her, explain what the business does.
Yeah.
And when I go to when they start setting up cameras at the office, Gentleman X calls one of the staff and tells them to tell those guys to go.
Oh.
Yeah, like tell these guys not to shoot. So now I come to the showroom, I'm like, okay, why would you tell these guys not to shoot? He's not around. And I'm like, now, screw whatever you are told.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's here.
Yeah.
And these guys are going to shoot. Because they're shooting my story.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. I think he calls Gentleman X. The guy said he's going to shoot. So he comes.
Okay.
So now, this is where things go totally wrong. Because now he comes and tells me, not going to shoot. He tells me, come out, kuja. Why are you shooting these interviews? Has it said kutengeneza pesa? I'm like, at that point, my girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, was there.
Wait,
And
is this, hold on. Is this baby mama or is this a different girlfriend?
No, baby mama, we cosaned like way back, somewhere along the way. We couldn't like rhyme together and we just had a lot of issues. So just moved on, got somewhere, started dating another chick.
Okay.
So this girl now in question, she's you so can imagine that.
Yeah.
Like even on myself as the man, do you know how bad you feel?
Yeah.
To be humiliated in front of
Yeah.
you. Do you know it's like the worst
Yeah.
possible thing.
Yeah.
And I decided, you know what? I think I've been worshiping you for too long.
Right.
I think you've not seen my diplomatic side and you've been stretching my limits for too long. Here's what we do. One of you has to leave this company. One of us has to leave. It's either you leave or I leave. And I tell him, listen, like your money doesn't help me in any way. You know, because even this company, because it's making money, it's mostly my effort, which is the truth. It was actually mostly my effort. I'm the one doing the video, sleeping at 3 a.m., sleeping 4 hours. I have eye bags. I'm not even straight. I can't even focus in school because I'm working so hard to ensure that this company works.
Right.
And Imports by Kairo was doing so well that we were given the award for the best used car dealership in Kenya. That was last year. So how does it get to a point now you want to start trashing my effort? Something I started working on since 2017. So we have a very bad fallout. But again, for PR purposes, I don't want it to split over, to spill over and affect the operations of the company. The next day I call a meeting and I read the riot act to him. Tell him, no, you're limiting me. I'm not even able to operate in my own company. How do you want us to work? And I tell him, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you 60% of whatever profits I bring. I'll only take 40.
Yeah.
From this 60%, you sort out, run the company. I won't even order the stuff around. You're the boss now. Let me just come do I just come chapa my deal. Naondokea.
Yeah.
Because I don't want any conflict. If you look at whatever I posted in online, I even start getting to a point I'm not even comfortable about my own security. So I start working from home.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that point, now August, around July coming to August, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to register another company. And I actually I'm so disappointed and I'm so angry to a certain extent.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not even going to sell cars again.
Okay.
I'm going to start selling spare parts.
Okay.
Because I'd been doing spare parts on the side, and I'd been making my small coins. And this guy was even feeling bad. He's like, why don't you bring your spare parts revenue to the company? And I'm like, why should I? You know. So we were having all these issues. So the culmination of it was even this agreement, which was supposed to give me the 40% commission. In August, he didn't honor it. So now it becomes another struggle trying to claim back
get
my
your money. Yeah.
Now at this point, my mom, my pastor, basically my close family, they tell me, look, you've worked very hard for this company. You've done but we even my own lawyer, like, no, we are not comfortable about your own security.
Okay.
The way you guys are fighting, one person is going to kill the other person.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the murderer,
Yeah.
but even me at that particular point, I'm getting to a point where now you start understanding, because I'm like looking, how do you show me such disrespect?
Yeah.
And this is something I worked hard for. You know, those are the things that make people kill other people.
Yes.
And also, on the other side, you could be like, who's this small boy who thinks he can stop me from making my money? So you see, it's a very toxic environment.
Yeah.
And so my mom tells me, look, if it means I sell all my properties and everything I own just to give you capital, you go start another business. Or I do a harambe. That when she's sick, she's in the US. I'm like, if it means that I have to call a harambe of the people who helped me here to give you money so that you leave that company, I'm willing to do it. Now when a parent tells you that.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, when you pray, it's kind of God gives you revelation, you get dreams. So for me, I mostly get a lot of dreams. So I felt like God wanted me to leave that company.
Okay.
So what I decided is there's a time I went to Dubai in August. And when I came back, I decided I'm going to leave. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to ask for anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to demand or have any major requirements. My only requirement is that they stop trading using that name after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
So I call a meeting with some of our business associates try to mediate.
Right.
It doesn't work out, but I just decide, you know, I'm going to quit. And then I call the meeting and I tell them I've decided I'm going to quit.
Okay.
I have those recordings. I recorded all those meetings. I keep them somewhere in a safe.
That's sensible.
Just in case.
Yeah.
in case someone sues me. But anyway, the point is, anyway, we actually got sued. I'll come to that in a few.
Okay.
So we decided we are going to separate.
Yeah.
And at that point, much as I knew I was doing what God wanted me to do, I felt I had failed.
Okay. Why did you feel like you had failed?
Because this is my entire work effort.
Yes.
I've left it behind. Where am I going?
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Uh-huh.
I literally have nothing at that point. One thing I normally give credit to my ex is that she stood by me.
Okay.
You see that particular point?
Yeah.
She actually stood by me.
Yeah.
So I like give her credit. I'm always like, when everybody else didn't trust in my abilities and I even doubted myself, you actually stood by me. You tried, as in ulikuwa hapo. You were there. You were actually there for me. And something else, God, God was there and my pastor. So at that particular point, the only like two people helping me from going into total depression.
Yeah.
It's my pastor who calls me to pray every day.
Okay.
We need to pray.
Yeah.
Leo umeshindaje? You're good. We have to pray.
Yeah.
Tena ndio kwani maombi. We have to pray. You have to keep on praying.
Yeah.
Pray. So by praying, I'm able now to stabilize myself. And I have so many contacts in Japan. I talk to one of my contacts in Japan, and they tell him, I've lost the company. It's like, bro, you've lost the company. Wow. Come to Japan. Come, let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need
to
reestablish yourself. I'm going to teach you how you reestablish yourself. So after I've resigned from imports, I leave before I go to Japan, I leave everything behind. I sign off all the documents.
Okay.
I sign off the shareholding. I sign off the bank account. Even the banks call me.
Right.
The guys from Stanchart, the guys from even, they remember, they're calling me. They're like, are you sure hii kitu wewe ndio umeandika ati unaachilia account? I'm like, yes, it's because I was a signatory in all accounts. I was a signatory.
Yani, it's so bad you're leaving money behind.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything. I'm leaving everything behind. Because it's getting to a point, I don't even trust the books in this company.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the guy claims we're making losses, but clearly we're not making losses.
Yeah.
I know because we are selling cars, but the guy says no, we're making losses. So I decided, you know what, this is too much. I leave every single thing behind. Let me tell you, when I went to Japan, that's when the fallout happens. Because this guy is bullying me. Literally, like, I'm in Japan, I'm going to call my secretary. My secretary is telling me, like, to me, we've been told you're now a competitor. We are not even supposed to be talking to you.
Oh.
I can't access my email. I have to call him and say, bro, why are you blocking my email?
Yeah.
I can't access. I'm in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Because now with the email is, if the bank, I try to go do a transaction.
Yes.
Bank is like, ai, ukoshua ni wewe kweli.
Yes.
And the only way you can communicate to your bank is via email. But you can't even access. You can't even pay for the hotel. You see, it's embarrassing. You can't even go and withdraw money. Like, it's bad. So he pushes me to the point. I remember one point he tells me, I post a video on my TikTok account. It still reads imports by Kairo. He tells me, you know what, please edit your imports TikTok account so that it doesn't show the name imports by Kairo. And I'm like, where? Yani, I've been reduced to the point where the company I founded, mimi mwenyewe, myself, I founded this company. Now you don't even want to be associated with me. And then I tell God, I think God, this is a message from you. It is time now I completely disassociated myself from this company.
Yeah.
And that's when I decide, you know what? I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to do a press statement. And in retrospect, again, looking back, God knew whatever he was doing. So I had to do that thing. And it was very courteous. Like, you know what? I've left. Bit of a problem. Companies under new management. Because there are people who go there because of my... Because they know that it's Kairo who's there, who's in charge.
Yeah.
But it's not. So it's under new management.
Yeah.
And the guy tells me, like, new management. I'm like, yeah, I'm no longer there. So you're the one in charge. And I have to tell people, that's why we have to say new management. Because we are still communicating with him at this point.
Yeah.
Much as we are having this separation, we are still trying to keep, diplomatic channels open.
Yes. Yes.
But what they do next, I think that's what actually ruined everything. Because they did a very bad press statement. They now tried to kind of like demean me. Oh, he was a commission director. Oh, he was never in control of the company. But there are guys who knew me from 2017. Remember, this story starts in 2017.
Yeah.
There are guys who followed this page all along. And those are the people you saw on Facebook roasting them. They're like, no, how do you say that? You know? So just to cut it short, it escalated like that. But at the end of it all, I came back. When I got off that plane in Japan, next week I'd gotten like 4 orders.
Wow.
So stability, back.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're doing the office.
Right.
God is providing clients. Pesa iishi. Now business is actually moving now. So you're like, 1 month ago you did not have a company.
Right.
You've come back from your trip in Japan. God has done his thing. Now you have a showroom. Jesse calls me by the way. Tells me, look, we have 2 Urban Drive showrooms. I don't think I really need one. I'm actually way comfortable with the other one. It's doing well. Why don't you take the other one? Yeah.
And he called you out of the blue.
Out of the blues.
Wow.
Because he is my friend. Much as I used to work with him, I always keep those. You always keep those networks.
Yes.
Never bang a door when you leave.
Yes.
Try leave no wachani na watu in very good way. That's one thing life has taught me. You see, like now, like a guy like Jesse. Imagine if I'd been so rude to him.
Yeah.
Maybe nimwambie wewe hata but you see, much as I just left because I was just going to do bigger things. The same thing with the guys at Ocean Cross. I didn't leave in a bad way. I just told them, look, I think I've stayed enough for here. Now I think God tells me probably I need to go do something else. I need to go try something else, or I need to move to a higher level. And even Kai and Karo, it's getting to a point where I'll probably decide, you know what, I've run this company. I can no longer be the CEO. I'm going to hire somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to do other things.
Yeah.
You see, so there's always a time for everything, and you can't stay at the same point for too long.
Yeah.
So so this guy calls me, tells me, look, come. There are 2 showrooms. Of course, the showroom is still mine, but you know what? Come, set up Kai and Karo from there, operate from there. You do your thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I also have a lot of stock. Help me push it. So that way, Kai and Karo is born. And now we have an address.
Okay.
And now there's a company running. And so far, we haven't looked back. God has been very grateful.
Yeah.
There are challenges here and there.
Yeah.
But we're still moving.
Yeah.
Gentleman X sued me. The case is before the High Court.
Yeah.
Sued me for 60 million.
What for?
Because you people roasted him, so he said he'd gone into depression. He says in the application, because I'm saying this, it's a matter in the public domain.
Yeah.
You can literally go look up that application at the High Court. He says that he built me from scratch. He says that he mentored me, which I actually credit to God. So now that's his beef with God. Me, I'm not there.
Okay.
I think he has a lot of proving to do.
Okay.
Because I'm sure God will not take credit for that.
Right.
So that's a fight he'll fight with God. But he sues me. He also tries to shut down Kai and Karo in the same application and sues me for 60 million.
Yeah.
So we can't talk much about that case
Yeah.
because it's still in court anyway.
Yeah.
So we are going to court religiously. We are going to argue our case in court. And hopefully, I believe that our God is a God of justice. And the truth is going to come out.
Yeah.
For me, it's not even about winning. It's the truth coming out. People need to know what exactly happened in this company.
Yeah.
We had an agreement that we had agreed that these guys are going to change their name after 6 months. It's February now. Not seen any signs of a rebrand. So you see, we are still moving. But all in all, so many lessons, so many mistakes, and that's why we are here. Even despite all those challenges, we are still innovating, doing new things, investing in new equipment, doing photos differently. So there's a lot that I've learned, and I think through this journey, I'm more godly than I was when it started.
Yes. Because that's the impression that I get listening to you, is that the biggest failure in your life gave you a lot more faith and belief in your relationship with God. So now it seems to me like if you jumped off a cliff, you're sure you'd be okay.
100% sure. I'll tell you, just put it. Once upon a time, I do decisions, major ones, without ever consulting God. Nowadays, I pray. Even when I say I'm moving houses, I pray. I just tell God, you know what I want to do? I want to move these houses. Please connect me with the right place. I know it's something as simple as moving a house, but just connect with the place that has the right vibe. That's going to match your energy. Right now, let's say I want to get married. I want to settle down after some time. So nowadays I tell God, look, connect me with the right wife. Someone who fears you the same way I fear you. So when you start doing things and asking God to guide you, it's very different from when you do things on your own and then later on when shit hits the fan, you know how to call God. Hey, Sasa, now we have a problem. Hey, it's different. So all in all, I think for me, I was in school. I think that right now it's when I'm starting to live. All along, I think I was in campus. Campus ya maisha.
Alrighty. So what else has this whole debacle with Imports by Cairo given you, like in terms of lessons, things that you can take forward, things that you would say to someone you're mentoring, for example?
Never ignore red flags.
Okay.
Never. Never ignore it. If you don't feel right doing something, if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Even with flying, my instructor always tells me that, like, if you're going for a flight and something doesn't feel right, or you just have, you're flying and you have a suspicion about something, don't ignore it.
That's excellent. So where exactly can we find the Kai and Karo shipping company?
Kai and Karo right now, we are at Kiambu Road and Northern Bypass Junction.
All right.
On the left service lane.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if we're looking for, what kind of car do we come to you for?
Nowadays we don't. When I was at imports, I used to do a lot of luxury, but nowadays we do everything. There's a
Okay.
department like that even if you want a Dudu car, like for like 500k, there's a department within Kyle Caro that will help you source it. If you need
Okay.
parts, if you need industrial equipment, if you need a spare part for an aircraft that's grounded somewhere, we're doing all those things. So slowly by slowly we are introducing new products. Because now again, now forget about the God aspect. Again, life also teaches you business lessons. You can't rely on one income stream.
Yes.
So if you're going to do this shipping thing, you might as well diversify.
Yes.
There's someone who's wondering how they're going to ship a container of things, random things from a certain random country. They need solutions. So
Yes.
if you have the experience, you can do. That's why Kyle Caro is a bit different from imports. Even the logo is a ship. People ask me, you sell cars but the logo is a ship. Well, we sell cars, but that's not our only primary business. You
Yes.
see the dealership, but inside that dealership, people are doing other things. They're
Yes.
sourcing spare parts,
Yeah.
sourcing side mirrors, sourcing engines. So we do a lot of things.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's excellent. Any last tips you have for our viewers on how to avoid failure or how to face it and not let it drown you?
You can't avoid failure.
Okay.
Failing is good.
Yeah.
Because it helps you to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, you can avoid dumb mistakes.
Yes.
But I think for me, don't really avoid it per se. But when you fail, at least fail knowing that you did your best.
Yes.
And you failed with the right intention. You know, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yes.
People actually say that. But I'd rather go to hell with my good intentions rather than I'm trying, you're trying to look good, but you're such a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just be a good person.
Yeah.
Have that relationship with God. Being a good person is good, helps you relate with other humans. But other humans are evil. So the people who will try to bring you down, who's going to protect you?
True.
It's only God.
True.
So even if you're failing, do your best, innovate, work hard, and be nice to the people around you, relate well with people, and most importantly, have a relationship with God.
Excellent. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Khalif Kairo on his relationship with God and the biggest failure in his life and how it helped him grow. We hope you enjoyed this interview, and we certainly hope to see you next week for one of these just like this one. Thank you.